Hello and welcome back to Toy Story 3. Today we'll be starting on the Toybox mode. So let's get in there, shall we? This mode's pretty interesting. We've already seen a little bit of it. We've thrown a trans person into a well and did a side quest there. But we have other things to do there. I say side quest, I mean mission. I'm thinking as if this whole thing's one big side quest from the actual main game, which it really isn't. It's its own beast entirely, so that's me being a little uncharitable, but it is fairly fun, so... this one's a bit odd. There's a bit of oddness in the editing because I didn't realise that I hadn't actually let it save after the first attempt at running it. And then when I did my second attempt, after I realised that, I'd accidentally picked up two things in one of the areas that I didn't mean to pick up, and it saved that I'd got them. So luckily I was recording at the time, but it means that I had to splice in part of that recording that's otherwise been thrown out because it's just redundant at this point. When we get to that area here, so you can just see what all the play items in that area are. So as a result, they weren't all there to show off. So let's just explore and get all these capsules, shall we? There's quite a few to find, including some other cute outfits, like the Finding Nemo outfit. We'll see these outfits and hats and stuff in action later on. But for now, we're just collecting them for future reference. I quite like that you can see certain things like these big doors and everything, because those are kind of cool in their own right as well. And there's also fairly mysterious as well. We'll see what's up with those later. I mean, that's just one of them, of course. But there we get a new gold star, the prize capsule collector. The weirdness comes in because with the splicing in the well, I actually got that in the well area. Spoilers, it's a well area. I'm an idiot. Either way, I got it in that area that I had to splice in the previous run through, so I kind of double up on that star, it looks like.
Yeah, this little guy's just arrived from Sector 4. I'm afraid his green head's gonna get sun-bleached if we don't get him a hat.
So let's get this alien a hat, shall we? Because we have a hat shop right there.
Toss him at the hat shop. He'll go inside. Ah, looks great.
I like that that hat comes with a mustache.
Sheriff,
I like the whole Mayhem
building
thing, it's
to your
pretty
list.
cute.
It's one quick and easy way to get things spruced up.
And now we have customization, so now we can make a building look however we want. I absolutely threw him into that building, but whatever. We picked that up again in the spliced in footage, so we'll see that. That was one of the ones I accidentally got. But now we can pick buildings whenever we want to.
Looks like Stinky Pete could use some help. If you talk to him, I bet he'll tell you how to get more gold.
So let's see what Stinky Pete wants, shall we?
This here's a mining tool to get gold out of rocks. Take it, it's yours. I got others. Now, the only thing gold is for in these parts is to buy toys. Every toy you get brings in more missions, more gold, and more fun. And don't worry, there's always plenty of gold around in these parts, so don't be stingy.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot to do in this area. Again, not quite as overwhelming as Lego City, but then again, what is? So for now, let's just bake as many of these gold things as we can find, because we really need gold at this point in the game.
Bullseye! Now you can be the rootinest tootinest and cut your travel time in half by riding the fastest horse in the West. Yeah!
And of course, while we have unlocked certain things, we actually can't buy them from the toy store yet.
Go to this booth to order any toy from Al's Toy Barn.
Get on over here!
Because the problem, of course, is you not only have to unlock them by getting all the cards and everything like that in areas, some of them you actually have to unlock by getting a certain mission done in sandbox mode as well. So for now, let's just abuse a few aliens, shall we? Because Woody is a very, 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 very strange idea of what being a sheriff entails. But yeah, we need gold stars, so We're going to abuse our townsfolk a little to get them. And yeah, the golden balls try to, which is the ammo basically, that's all that's used for is ammo. And you can actually have an interesting mechanic which I do later on with that. It's completely pointless, as are having so many balls. I mean, this game really gives you a lot of everything in these areas, although at the beginning it can be quite stingy with gold. Yep, 5 stars gets us the amateur, 5 kicks gets us the amateur kicker star, and 10 kicks gives us pro kicker. And while we were doing that, this one respawned, so let's grab that, shall we?
Get on over here!
And see what the next quest entails as well. Once we've got this one.
I hear Slinky's in dire need of assistance over at the ranch.
So let's go see what Slinky needs, shall we? I quite like also that you get to see a bunch of characters that you wouldn't otherwise get to see in-game in this area, like Stinky Pete, for example. There's a nice little cameos from like all the characters throughout all 3 movies in this area, and I quite like it for that. It's one of the more notable things about this part of the game, is getting to see all those characters that we knew and loved from earlier movies, as well as Toy Story 3. Taking some interesting little hats and outfits. And there we actually have something to customize buildings with, the small flower pot. Essentially, the icon next to each thing shows us what kind of thing we're doing. And since we're a bit, let's just throw everything we can into wells and see what happens, shall we? Not only are you a bad sheriff, you're also a bad farmer. Oh no, you don't. Get back in the well, Bessie. The bucket got a little underway. But there we are, we've got cow in the well now. That little bang means that you've actually done something that's relevant to getting a gold star, in a lot of cases, or doing something like that anyway. Throwing all the kinds of animals in the well gives us farm in the well, which is a cute one. And we can also tap the cactus to make it, the cactus would basically behave, cacti basically behave like those punchy clowns that you got for children's toys that you knock over and then they come back up again.
They think it's funny wandering off and getting all lost.
Of course, you need to be careful with the cacti, because if they hit you on the rebound, it will actually hurt. You will lose a few coins doing that. So be careful around the cacti. It can be fun to bounce off them, but it can also be quite painful. I also quite like that each of the characters has their own niche to fill in this area based on their personality. Like, Slinky has the kind of farmer kind of role, which makes sense given the whole southern kind of characterization. Like, he's a very kind of farming kind of hick kind of voice, so. Yeah, this is kind of a back route that's a bit optional to get up. But it's good to get a few extra things here. We're actually supposed to go with a little pathway there to get up here. The neat thing with this as well is a lot of different ways a lot of areas are cordoned off from each other, or connect to each other, and that kind of variety is pretty cool. Fairly good, he's got nothing on this. Now we've hooked out Slinky. So once we've collected a few extra things, we'll be heading back to the main town to see what else we can do. See what missions we've unlocked from that. Because we only really came here with Slinky to fulfill what Stinky Pete told us to do. Because of course a few of the missions in this game are cordoned off after doing other missions, or... Yeah, as he mentioned, yeah, the farm should be open, but again, this spliced in footage, me showing off that you get all the Finding Nemo stuff under the well. And getting a second version of Price Capsule Collector because of that. Finding Nemo walls, of course, is, that got us there, was what I scrolled past on that one building. So that's just me showing off where to get all of that. And this is a very useful hub area as well, because it means we can fast travel to each little area, while only needing to endure a loading speed. But that's me cutting back to the main part of the playthrough, so that's the weirdness out of the way. Since from this point I've started manually saving much more stringently now that I know it's necessary, to make sure that kind of thing never happens again. The rest of the editing will be much more straightforward.
Get on over here!
Got some neat windows and stuff there. Yeah, here's me actually unlocking this part of the well on this file, so now we have all 3 of those main wells unlocked. We have a few more, of course, as well, but we don't really need those. We'll see those later. So Hamm's finally got a new mission, so let's see what his next thing is. Once I've climbed, of course, to the top of this small building, the saloon, to get the curler hair.
You know what the difference is between this town and a ghost town? Neither do I. We need some townsfolk.
Now it's time to buy a pioneer. Now we're finally actually using that.
The toys you buy will be delivered on the stagecoach and dropped off at the station platform.
I quite like the delivery system with the stagecoach. It's a good way of explaining how the toys get there from our toy barn.
Hats and prize capsules hidden all over the place.
You can kind of see it almost as Andy kind of rationalizing where they come from. Considering it's not just Woody's Roundup we're here at, we're actually in, we have Toys of Andy's as well around here, so it's not just the TV show that we're in. It's actually being seeded by other things. I kind of see this as almost like the collective unconscious from Psychonauts, where like a bunch of different imaginations are coming together based on the manufacturers of the toys and the stories they've come up with for them, and of course Andy's personal touch. For example, this whole setting is mainly Woody's Roundup, the TV show from Toy Story 2. But it also has characters Andy has added from his bedroom as well in Mayor Hamm. So that's where I kind of see it in that way. I always put the jail right next to Town Hall because, and yeah, each building has a set number of places it can go on the map. I always just choose like whichever one's going to be most efficient for doing stuff later. So putting the jail right next to Town Hall seems like it makes sense. Yeah, the outlaws are going to be a constant nuisance throughout this game. Section of the game, anyway. Actually, different tracks as well for Woody's Roundup. That's kind of neat. Like, it keeps cycling between, I think, different songs. Like this mysterious kind of good, bad, and ugly kind of thing going on. I also like seeing the animations of the buildings being built, although they are very repetitive. They have a decent charm to them. It's quite cute. Like, aspects of it, like, at one point you see the builder riding up the crane, and then sometimes he'll fall off the crane, and the crane has to pick him back up. Here's the pictomatic that guy told us to find. These basically ask us to recreate these kind of photos by making characters either dress in a certain way or placing them in certain positions. Some of them have, you all actually come up with cute little cutscenes as well that I quite like. They to show you've got them. So they have some reason to do them beyond the gold stars they get for doing them. Now the jail's built, so that's nice. But unfortunately, it's despawned us.
you when you buy the Green Army men. Do you have what it takes to take the prize? Buy 'em and see.
I like this little animation as well, but yeah, it despawned the gold thing because it thought we already got it. Got a little confused, I think. So let's get this one instead. And get a gold star for mining a certain amount of those as well. Mine a 49er. Just waiting to actually get the money in. I'm going to buy the paratroopers now. Paratroopers now. And while we're waiting for them to be delivered, let's pick up this bandit and put him in his little box, shall we? Now that we have a jail to put him in. And break open a barrel with his head as well. You get a small amount of money for each bandit you collect, and that's pretty neat. The bandits actually have some interesting stuff that they do, but we'll see those and their effects of them on the world later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent claims that I am unclear on the issues, but can any of you even understand a single word he said? That accusation was as inaccurate and incomplete as it was incoherent. I'm shocked that you would say such things in front of the decent, humble inhabitants of this fair town. That is a bold-faced lie. I've never in all my life taught, competed, or even participated in water aerobics. Well, that's going too far. This debate is over. I consider myself an inspiring politician. And nothing would be more inspiring than seeing my face on every t-shirt wearing citizen in town.
Something about the way Hamm talks when he's the mayor reminds me a little bit of JFK. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but he has that similar kind of the Mayor Quimby kind of thing going on where he kind of makes odd pauses at times. Yeah, that's how most of our presents get delivered, most of our things, in those little gift boxes, and that's cute. I also like they deliver themselves, that's pretty cool. This little scene is pretty neat. Yeah, the paratroopers are pretty badass, I kinda like them. Because that intro is pretty cool. So now let's see what we can do with them, shall we? As you may have guessed from the second level of the main game, their shtick hasn't changed much. But they have a bunch of them. Each of them has about 6 targets, I think, 5 or 6 targets they can hit. Some of the targets really easy to find and get to, like that one over there. But some of them are actually fairly well hidden, and some of them you can only really see on the way to other targets. And that's a pretty neat kind of way of doing difficulty balance in this kind of thing. And of course, as you get each of them, each of the targets, the smoke goes away and they turn grey so that you know you've already got them. But of course, there's a pattern to what I've been doing in this game, and let's not break that pattern now. As soon as we get a new toy, it goes straight down the well. I hope he enjoyed his trip. Yeah, there's a weird amount of stuff that involves putting you in wells, putting stuff in wells in this. We're basically a reverse Lassie. You know, while Lassie tried to save everyone from being stuck in wells, will you make sure people get stuck in those wells? So I guess he was trying to give Lassie a job. Trying to give Lassie something to do. And that's nice of him in a weird kind of sociopathic way. In an almost political kind of way. But yeah, some of them are actually quite close calls, like this one way over here. We're very close to grazing the ground with that. Yeah, some of these are kind of neat as well, though. Like, quite like the view you get when you're exploring the areas as the paratroopers. You get a nice kind of unique perspective on things, and sometimes it can actually help you see things that you could have picked up but didn't know were there. And we got to see that little thing spawning in too, that gold piece, so that's nice. Well, let's take a break from doing paratroopers because they can be a little repetitive. and see what else we can do here. Because we'll need the tailor eventually. So let's pick one up, shall we? Doesn't really matter where you place these kind of buildings. They just kind of can go anywhere, really, as long as it's somewhere the game will allow you to place them, of course. But of course, well, also, there's only one building crew in this whole game, so each building can only be built when no other buildings are being built, so you have to wait for each building to be completed. But I figured I'd show this off. A nice little view into the actual construction site. So I haven't really used it like this before, and I quite like seeing like all the little things happening in the site, like the little animations and like objects and the thing that you wouldn't expect to see there, like that little wooden pallet. There's not much stuff there, but it's enough to be kind of charming that they put it in there in the first place.
Objective reached.
But yeah, I'm mostly doing these because they give you a good amount of gold for each one of them. And they're fun to try and work out the puzzle to get them to some of the more difficult ones, like this one coming up. That, to be honest, was a little bit my fault. Because I got a little bit stuck on the hitbox and lost a lot of height because of that. I mean, look at how much height I lost there. That was ridiculous. I'm nowhere near where I need to be now. So yeah, you really need to be careful when it comes to obstacles in the way and how you're steering this guy.
Blast.
Just a little bit short. I mean, it's a large amount per perspective of the other man because of how tiny he is, but yeah. But yeah, we also got to see the building coming up as well, so that was nice timing there. Reminds me a little bit, actually, of the construction animations in black and white. Well, that was more rewarding, of being able to watch the scaffolding being built and then the building within it being built and stuff. That was nice. Yeah, we need to put people in the Hamm t-shirts. There are also Bandit t-shirts, but I've never actually done that. But I like that the Bandit t-shirts are there. There's an option for that. That's cute. But there's a lot to do in this section of the game, and I do not want to waste too much time with it, is the thing. So I'm mostly just going to be doing things the right way. And this has annoyed me, because I got the toolbox out, but it wouldn't actually spawn the thing. And that was annoying. So let's put someone else in the Hamm t-shirt to finish this off, shall we? Actually, quite the opposite, mate. That's a cute little parade as well, I quite like that. As well as the mission, we also got a gold star for doing a bunch of missions. So that actually brings us up to 10 gold stars out of 103. So I'll see you next time as we see what else we can do. And I actually saved the bloody game this time. I'll see you then. Goodbye.